No, Randall, listen to me.
Randall, look at me. Ring on my finger.
If you're a 90s kid, you have obviously enjoyed this iconic video game about the blue hedgehog who moves faster than anyone in this world. We bet you were happy to watch the first and the second film adaptations to the video game, but have you watched that carefully? In fact, there are so many little hidden details that are very easy to miss a few along the way. Be warned, there will be major spoilers ahead. The movie itself was absolutely anticipated as the fans were dying to see Ben Schwartz and Jim Carrey in action, delivering the audience joyous performances as Sonic and Dr. Robotnik. If you have already watched the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 movie, you have probably noticed that it definitely follows the same formula, yielding a fun and family-friendly adventure that takes most of its inspiration from the series' past. But what about the things that are not that obvious to notice? Let's be real, if you want to catch all the details, you have to watch the movie at least twice. Or just leave it to us and we'll reveal everything we have already noticed so far. The most important but tiny details are hidden in the references to the video game, and blink and you'll miss it Easter eggs that aren't as easy to catch on our first watch. Stray lines and pieces of set dressing make fun allusions to the franchise's past. And if you have ever played the Sonic video game, you'll probably catch some of the pre-existing Sonic lore.
And I know you're real!
The Mushroom Planet. The whole thing starts on the Mushroom Planet where Dr. Eggman is living out a solitary castaway existence. This is also a place where Eggman meets Knuckles the Echidna, and as you remember, this scene was inspired by the Sonic and Knuckles level Mushroom Hill Zone in the video game. Sonic and Knuckles is the first game where the red Echidna, Knuckles, was introduced, and we can definitely say that this scene was Knuckles' debut since Mushroom Hill Zone is the first level of the game. So this is the reason why his first appearance was made when he was surrounded by mushrooms. But here are even more nods to the video games as well. Dr. Robotnik tricked Knuckles and made him work on him, and this is the main plot line of Sonic the Hedgehog 3. If you were super attentive, you may have noticed that Eggman's little mushroom machines were absolutely intentional references to the Sonic and Knuckles level. Why? If you played this game, you should remember that the game itself featured various levers, elevators, and other gadgets made of mushrooms and vines.
Your flying eggs are pretty impressive, Mr. Eggman, but let's face it.
Mean Bean Coffee Co. Do you remember the Mean Bean Coffee Co., which Stone, Dr. Robotnik's loyal assistant, has opened up a coffee shop in town? For those who haven't noticed that, the coffee shop featured Robotnik's high-tech gear. But here is something else. The name of the coffee shop itself is a big but tiny detail that you may have missed while watching the movie for the first time. This is the reference to the Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine puzzle game, which was released in 1993. This gameplay was set in the early Sonic universe, and that is why not everyone remembers that.
Sonic, someone could have seen you.
No one saw me. I'm too fast. And I wanted to bring you this.
The worst. Remember the moment when Sonic was getting ready for a movie night with Wachowski's Retriever while Tom and Maddie were in Hawaii? Sonic asked the dog which movie they should watch. I'm not watching Snow Dogs again. The movie is the worst. And raised his hand over his mouth, leaning to the dog's ear. Have you noticed that was in a such Jean-Ralphino style? This moment is actually a reference to Sonic's voice actor Ben Schwartz's iconic character Jean-Ralphino from Parks and Recreation. Many people haven't watched this short-lived Cartoon Network series OKKO, Let's Be Heroes, but there was an episode called Let's Meet Sonic, and Roger Craig Smith was the one who voiced Sonic in the series, and he did that Jean-Ralphino "he's the worst" when describing his foe, Dr. Eggman. It was absolutely unexpected to hear that "the worst" jingle, and many fans who had no idea about the series we were just talking about have missed this tiny detail for sure.
That wasn't too bad.
Gun Soldiers. Have you ever wondered who the Gun Soldiers are for real? This organization first appeared in the Sonic Adventure 2 video game, and GUN stands for Guardian Units of Nations. In the video game, the Gun Soldiers were the feds who were hunting Sonic and eventually confused him with Shadow the Hedgehog. But what about the movie? Here, they are a secret organization meant to protect the world from alien forces. In the movie, we meet them when Tom and Maddie are attending Maddie's sister Rachel's wedding. But it turns out that the wedding attendants were agents of GUN, including Rachel's husband-to-be. It also reveals that Commander Walters, who was vice chairman of the Joint Chief of Staff, and we met him in the previous film, was the founder and head of GUN. The codename for the ambush is revealed to be Operation Catfish. Did you know that this organization was inspired by the one that appeared in Sonic Adventure 2 video game? Let us know in the comments section down below.
I've been training for this my entire life.
And I have no training at all.
Familiar noises. Every Sonic the Hedgehog fan was super excited to hear all the audio video Easter eggs featured in the movie. But have you caught them all? Of course, we all know that you have noticed the iconic jingling sound of spilled rings, but there was definitely more to catch. Let's say Tom's cell phone ringtone. It goes off at a woefully inappropriate time at his sister-in-law's wedding, and the ringtone is a variant of the Green Hill Zone theme. Moreover, all characters, at least Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails, all of them are heard making the game-appropriate sound effects, and Sonic was even using his catchphrase, "Gotta go fast," which went viral all over the internet. Another thing that you probably haven't noticed is that the voice actor who was voicing Tails for years in the video games actually voiced him in the movie as well. Colleen O'Shaughnessy's voice was familiar to many fans, and they were super happy to recognize the original voice of Tails. We wish Sonic and others were voiced with their original actors as well.
I saw you dance. Is that all you got?
No, but thank you for asking.
Tails and the Tornado. The final episode shows us Tails who gets to fly a red biplane, which is a huge reference to the video game. Moreover, Sonic does the same thing he did throughout the series and perches on the top wing of the plane as they fly into battle against Eggman's giant robot. A bit later, Tails even manages to make the plane cooler as he modifies it with all kinds of different gadgets, wing positions, and even the ability to transform into a walking mech suit. Even though Tails doesn't really have much time for that, at least he adds something to modify it. Despite the fact that there was no specific name for the plane, it was absolutely clear that it was a plane from the Sonic video game, which was called the Tornado. But not only this plane was inspired by the game, Tails' mechanical skills were also brought directly from the games to the big screen, along with his backstory. It was such a heartbreaking and cute moment when the fox opened up to Sonic and revealed to him his story about being bullied his entire life for having two tails, because everyone thought he looked super weird. As for this sad story, it was also brought from the past Sonic media, but we all know that Tails is tough and he always manages to hold his head up high and shows the bullies who's boss in the end.
This is what we're gonna do. Step 1, light taunting. Step 2, I have no idea.
The 16-bit thing. Did you like that stunning 16-bit animation that replays the full events of the movie? If you watch this moment carefully, you probably have noticed that this short sequence is filled with many tiny Easter eggs. First off, the sprite and sound effects are all perfectly recreated, as the design was also filled with Sonic the Hedgehog video game details. For example, the details like bounce pads, spike pits, and rails to grind on. It also featured all bosses that Sonic has to defeat by jumping on them repeatedly, as well as a few specific references from the Genesis games. Which exactly? Let's say the intro scene of Sonic 3 where Tails flies the tornado. Another iconic moment was that perfect retro montage where the camera shifts behind Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails as they're running. This seems like a pretty overt reference to the bonus stages from the early games, which often changed the visual style to employ a pseudo 3D vibe. Have you watched Sonic 2? If we missed any more secrets from the new movie, please let us know in the comments section down below. See you in the next episode. Bye bye.
This is my power, and I'm not using it to run away anymore. I'm using it to protect my friends.